Hi guys, my name is Terrie and I'm here to take you through a calming but toning flow. I trust you're all fit and well today, and just take it at your level. I'll be giving modifications, so just enjoy and relax. So we're going to start in a cross-legged position, so you can bring your right in front of your left in front of your right. Gently make sure that you're sitting nice and firmly down on the mat. If you struggle with sitting with your knees crossed, gently just place a bolster or a brick underneath your sit bones, and then we're going to gently make a start. So begin by starting to close your eyes and just start to bring your awareness towards that natural breath. Don't make any changes as just yet, just make sure that you're noticing that breath. Begin to start to arrive on your mat and arrive on your practice, starting to calm that mind of any thoughts that you had before class and any thoughts that you're going to have after taking the class. Starting to slow your mind by connecting with your breath. So begin to start to inhale through that nose and exhale fully through that nose. Emptying that mind of any thoughts now, just slowly concentrate on that breath. Just gently letting all thoughts clear from those minds, concentrating solely on this breath. So begin to make those inhalations through the nose richer, deeper and stronger now. Taking that deep inhalation all the way down towards your belly and feel the expansion there. Continue that breath towards your rib cage and notice as those rib cages start to expand. Finally, that breath is going to come towards those collarbones, and those collarbones gently smile. No thought on the exhale as it comes naturally and that body floats back down. So every inhalation you're starting to calm your mind and your body is beginning to follow. Making those inhales even stronger, even richer and even deeper now. And start to notice as that breath travels all the way down from the root all the way up to the crown of the head. You're feeling the expansion towards that spine. Any thoughts that are coming through that mind, just let them go and start to really concentrate deeply on this breath. Gently noticing that pause between the inhale and the exhale now. So it may only be for a second, but just notice that it's there. You're feeling that inhale, you're tracking it all the way down to that belly and you're making that belly rise. Continuing that journey with that breath and feel the expansion there. Once more, taking that breath all the way up to your collarbones, gently making them rise. As you exhale, release. So this is the breath that you want to try to maintain throughout the whole of our flow today. If that mind starts to wander, bring it back towards this breath, just noticing that pause between the inhale and the exhale. If your body feels agitated, bits of tension there, also bring it back to this breath. The breath is your key. I'd like to wish you a wonderful flow today, and on that note we are going to begin. So gently place your hands onto your knees or onto your shins. Make sure that you're sitting nice and tall and both sit bones are rooted down towards your mat. And just imagine that I'm pulling you from a gold thread from your crown, and you've got that length towards your spine, and those shoulder blades are gently released and back. There's no tension there. Placing your hands, knees or shins. On the inhale, we're taking 3 rounds of seated cat-cow. So inhale, push your chest forward. There's a slight bend to your spine and lift your gaze. On your exhale, start to tuck that chin towards that chest, belly button towards that spine. Going again, inhale, lift your gaze. That heart space, your chest will follow. As you exhale, a little bit more dynamic as your chin comes towards that chest and your belly button comes back towards your spine. One more inhale, we open our heart space and that gaze begins to lift. As you exhale, start to round in that upper back, and we will pause here for 3. Your belly button is coming backwards and upwards towards that spine for 2. Inhale, exhale fully for 1. Gently lift your gaze, come back to your neutral spine. Placing your left hand on your right knee and your right hand firmly behind your sleeve. Take a deep inhale and grow tall in your spine. As you exhale, start to take your gaze over towards the right as we come into a twist here. Making sure that you don't sort of collapse in that resting hand. You want to be nice and tall in your spine. So inhale, create that space. As you exhale, twist a little bit deeper here. So you're trying to take your gaze over that right shoulder. One more deep inhalation, grow tall in that spine. As you exhale, we twist that little bit further. Take one more deep inhale, and as you exhale, start to bring it all the way back to center. You're back in that neutral spine. Placing your hands on your knees or back to your shins. Be a little bit more dynamic, second set round. On your inhale, pull on your knees, your shins, open your heart space. There's a bend in that spine. As you exhale, really pull on your legs as you start to tuck and curl in that upper back. 2 more. Inhale, seated cat-cow, lift your gaze. As you exhale, we start to round here. 1 more. Inhale, we lift, raise that gaze and push that chest through. As you exhale, start to arch in that upper back. Start to bring your bandhas into consideration now. That's your core. So start to pull that pelvic floor upwards and start to pull that belly button towards that spine, connecting those bandhas now. We're creating warmth and we're starting to gently connect them towards our practice. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, start to rise that gaze, come back to that nice neutral spine. So we're taking our right hand on that left knee and that left hand behind our sit bones now. Take a deep inhale, grow tall in your spine, create that space. As you exhale, start to twist over towards the left. And you're using this knee as a lever, guys. So you want to inhale and you want to pull dynamically on that knee to get further into your twist. And don't forget to move with that breath. So every inhalation, you're creating a space there. And as you exhale, you twist that little bit deeper, taking that gaze over that left shoulder. So we're just starting to warm up within our thoracic area of our spines. That's our mid-back. Taking one more deep inhalation here, and as you exhale, start to bring it all the way back round. You're back in that neutral spine. So we're going to roll over our shins, roll over our knees, and we're going to come into a tabletop position now. So just gently with ease and grace, start to bring yourself onto all fours. So let's make sure that our shoulders are directly over our wrists and our hips are nicely pointed on top of our knees. Taking 3 rounds of normal cat-cow. On your inhale, dip your belly, lift your gaze and your heart space starts to rise. As you exhale, start to tuck your chin to your chest, push away at your mat and bring your pelvis under. Taking 2 more. Inhale, dipping that belly, use your core and control it here. Lifting your gaze, there's a nice arch to that spine. As you exhale, belly button comes backwards, pelvis is under, but start to really push away and round in that upper back. 1 more. Inhale, deeply bend that spine, lift your gaze, push your chest through. As you exhale, we're rounding in that upper back and we're going to pause here. So make sure that you're being dynamic to your mat. You can feel that roundness, that building energy within those shoulders. We're holding for 1. Bandhas are engaged for 2. Inhale and exhale for 3. Releasing, coming back into that neutral tabletop. So let's ground down into that left hand and we're going to raise that right arm eye towards the sky. So take that gaze to follow here. On your next inhalation, we're going to thread that arm through, but we're just going to hover here. As you exhale, I want you to float with that breath as you reopen into that stance. 2 more. Inhale, we thread that right arm through. As you exhale, push into that left palm and really twist that torso and take that gaze to follow. 1 more. Inhale, we thread. Exhale, we rise, gently pausing here, taking that gaze towards that lifted palm. So you can stay here or you can ground down into that left knee and very gently start to raise that right leg. So you're starting to test your balance, you're starting to test your core. We're holding for 1, for 2, for 3. Keep your right leg raised as you take your right hand back towards your mat. We're going to warm into our arms now. So 2 options. You can stay with myself with your right leg raised, or you can start to bring that right knee back to meet that left. On your next inhalation, we're going to bend in our elbows, chaturanga arms, chest and chin comes towards that mat. As you exhale, we're going to use that breath and rise back up. Inhale, we're going to lower. Exhale, we're going to rise. And remember to lower that knee if it's a little bit too much. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, we rise. Taking that right knee to meet that left and just shake out any tension there. So let's go on the other side. Placing the weight into your right hand and we raise that left arm and take your gaze to follow. On your inhale, start to thread that left arm through. As you exhale, push into your right palm as you re-rise in that left. Take your gaze to follow. Inhale, we thread. Exhale, you rise. Staying connected to your breath, no thoughts in your mind. Inhale, you lower. Exhale, we're going to rise here and hold. Taking that gaze upwards. Now knowing your options, you can stay here working within that twist, or you can start to ground down into that right as you raise that left leg ahead. We're holding here for 3, for 2, for 1. Take your left hand back down to meet your right and staying with your leg raised or releasing your knee to your mat. On your inhale, we lower, chest chin comes forward. As you exhale, you rise. So it's like a chaturanga move. Inhale, bend those elbows, we lower. Exhale, you rise. 1 more. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, you rise. Left knee meets that right, shaking out any tension here. So begin to start to tuck your toes. Send your seat towards your heels as we rise into our first downward facing dog. So keep a slight bend to your knees if you are super tight in your hamstrings. If not, start to send that weight backwards, starting to draw your heels closer down towards your mat. So don't rely on those wrist strengths in your downward facing dog. Make sure you're sending some of the weight backwards. Now let's release any tension from that neck. Just gently start to shake your head from side to side and maybe nod it up and down. So we want to make sure that there's no tension in our bodies, no tension within our minds. Making sure that every breath you're sending that weight backwards and you're releasing any tension there. So let's start to pedal our feet, start to take our downward dog for a walk, bending that right knee, followed by that left knee, just making small amounts of movement here. Maybe make it more dynamic by twisting your torso here. It's your body, it's your practice, and let your body lead you how it feels it wants to warm into those hamstrings. Taking 2 more breaths, 2 more pedals each side. Coming back through, you're back into that nice stationary downward facing dog. So let's float it forward with some high planks, warming in our shoulders and in our cores. On your next inhalation, roll it forward, come into a high plank here. Not staying too long. As you exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. 2 more, move with that breath. Inhale, we roll forward, high plank. Exhale, we send it back, downward facing dog. 1 more, inhale, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Seeing if you've created any more warmth to those hamstrings. Are your heels coming closer down towards your mat? On your next inhalation, roll it forward into your high plank. We're going to lower our knees, flatten those feet to your mat. Start to bend your chaturanga elbows as you release your chin chest towards your mat, snaking through, coming into your baby cobra. As you exhale, tuck your toes, sending it back, downward facing dog. So ground down into your left foot, and we're going to raise that right leg high towards the sky. So you could be here or you could be right up here. It's entirely up to yourself, guys. Move at your ability, move at your level. There's options for us all. Take your gaze forward and begin to step that right foot through, helping that foot if needed. Start to take your left leg back down towards your mat. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, we rise into our low lunge, sitting nice and deep within that seat. So we're trying to create nice warmth towards that left. So bring your hands behind you and create a nice basket grip here. Take a deep inhale and just gently pull on that basket grip. There's a mini back bend there. As you exhale, fold forward, starting to take your forehead down and your arms overhead, coming into a variation of your Umbra Warrior. Every breath you take, you're creating space within your bodies. So inhale creates the space. As you exhale, take the invitation and go a little bit deeper within that space. Staying here for one more deep inhale, and as you exhale, we release our hands to frame that front foot. Tuck that back foot, and we're sending that right to meet that left, and you're in your high plank. So this is your choices. You can drop your knees and go through knees, chest, chin, or you can come with myself into your chaturanga dandasana. So inhale, we lower, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Roll over your toes, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Sending it back, downward facing dog. So ground down into that right foot this time, and we're going to raise that left leg high towards the sky, or maybe just doing a toe tap here. It's yogi's choice. Listen to your bodies. Take your gaze forward, and with ease and grace, we're going to step that left foot through. Start to drop that back knee and flatten that foot. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, we rise, low lunge. Sitting nice and deep within our sit bones, creating that space. Begin to cultivate that basket grip behind us. So inhale, pull on your basket grip and take that mini back bend here. As you exhale, inject your hips as you forward fold. So you're gently trying to open within those shoulders. You're still keeping that core tight. It's helping you with your balance. Inhaling and exhaling, keeping your mind calm. So begin to release your basket grip. Stay nice and low and frame that front foot now. We're tucking that back foot under and we're shooting the left to meet the right. You're back in your high plank. Remembering your options, it's either chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. On your inhale, prepares you. On your exhale, float it down, opening your heart space, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Send it back, downward facing dog, and just connect with your breath here. So start to ground down again within that left leg, and we come back into our three-legged dog. We raise that right high. Now take a deep bend to that right knee and come into your split dog. So you're just stacking right hip on top of the left. Now to test yourself a little bit more, take your gaze under that left underarm and see if you can see your right big toes. And feel that nice opening towards that right hip. So you can stay here and breathe, or you can continue your journey down. So start to take your right foot down towards your mat, take your right hand high and come into your wild thing here. So know those options. You can stay in your split dog or continue into this pose. Maybe begin to close your eyes and just breathe here, feeling this pose. It's a deep heart chakra opening pose, so just feel it here. Take your right hand back down to meet your left and start to send your right leg high back towards the sky, coming back into your three-legged dog. Take your gaze forward and step that right foot through. So stay on the back of that ball of the foot. On your inhale, we rise, crescent lunge. Sitting even deeper within that seat now, seeing if we've created a little bit of space there. Your gaze is lifted, your drishti point is towards your palms. Now begin to release any tension from that neck. Send those shoulders back down. We're still connecting towards our breath. Start to bring your hands behind you, create your basket grip. Pull on your basket grip and take a deeper back bend this time and use your breath. Your back leg is nice and strong, kneecap lifted, your quads are engaged. Your core is switched on, guys. Take a deep inhale as you exhale, forward fold, coming into a variation of your humble warrior. Sitting nice and deep within that seat and use your breath here, keep your body calm. So staying nice and low, start to take your hands down towards the inside of that right foot. Take a deep inhalation as you twist that back foot down and raise your left arm high towards the sky, gaze follows. Exhale, that left comes down to meet that right. Twist in here, ball of the foot, send that right hand high towards the sky. So begin to take that right hand back down to frame that front foot. Take a deep inhalation. As you exhale, take your weight into that right leg. As you lift that left leg off your mat, place your right hand either directly in front of your toes or towards the corner of your mat. Taking your left hand to meet your left hip and start to revolve here. Maybe start to take your left hand upwards, coming into your half move. So know your options. You can stay here and just breathe, practicing, or you can extend fully into your half move. Take your gaze to follow and switch that core on and have a nice strong Tadasana leg. Left end comes down to meet that right. Start to return that left leg behind and shoot that right foot backwards. Take a deep inhale as you exhale, Chaturanga. Roll over your toes, open your heart space, shoot it back, downward facing dog. Taking 2 more vinyasas. Inhale, roll forward. Moving a little bit more dynamic now, guys. So know your options. Sending it back, downward facing dog. 1 more. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, return. Rolling over, sending it back, downward dog. Ground down into your right leg and shoot that left leg high towards the sky. Come back with that bent knee, coming into your split dog. You can stay here or continue that journey down once again, sending your left foot down and extend your left arm, coming into your wild thing. Maybe close your eyes and once again feel this pose. Taking your left hand back to meet your right and extend that left leg high. Shoot it high, reach for the stars. Take your gaze forward and step that left foot through. So we're staying on the ball of that back foot as we rise back up into our crescent lunge. Sitting nice and deep within our seats, testing that flexibility there. We're toning those legs and we're keeping our mind calm, connecting with your breath. Begin to bring your hands behind you, create your basket grip. Take a deep inhale and pull on that basket grip, taking an even deeper back bend now. Take a deep inhale as you exhale, forward fold, come through to your variation of your humble warrior. Seeing if you can go nice and low. Start to release both hands, staying nice and low. Place both hands on the inside of that left foot. Turning that back foot, we extend our right arm high and take your gaze to follow. Taking your right hand back down to meet your left, twisting on that back foot and send your left arm high, coming into a twist here. So begin to take that left hand to the outside of that left foot. Taking your hand either directly in front of your toes or towards the corner of your mat. Begin to take your weight forward as you start to turn that torso. Right hand comes towards that right hip and you pause here. If you want more, extend your right arm, take your gaze to follow, coming into your half move. Right hand starts to come all the way back down towards your mat. Re-square those hips. Send your right foot down towards your mat, shoot your left to meet your right, and you're in your high plank. Start to begin to slow that breath, slow that practice. On your inhale, let's begin to slowly lower down. Rolling over your toes, sending it back, downward facing dog. So let's take 2 more, but let's feel it. Let's slow down our breath, slow down the practice. On your inhale, roll forward to your high plank. On your exhale, begin to lower. Roll over your toes and then send it back, downward dog. Let's take 1 more. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, open your heart space. Sending it back, downward dog. So take your gaze towards your palms and you can step, jump or float to a seated position there. Placing both feet nice and flat down onto your mat and come to the front of your mats. So you can use your hands and your triceps as support, or you can bring your arms out in front and come with myself. We're going to roll down our spines. Tuck that chin towards your chest, take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, start to roll down your spine using your core. And feel each vertebrae as it connects down towards your mat. So you're just linking each vertebrae all the way down towards the ground. Gently move with your breath as you gently start to lower all the way down towards your mat. Take your arms overhead and extend your legs, coming into a full body stretch here. But create length. Make sure you point your toes and your hands are stretching forward. Begin to start to bend your knees. Bring yourself into a small ball and gently rock from side to side. So make sure you create a yoga grip here, so it's your 2-piece fingers and your thumb. Place your yoga grip around your big toes as you extend your feet high towards the sky and just start to come into a happy baby here. Gently swaying from side to side as you release any tension from those hips, any tension from that lower spine. Gently start to slow down that breath, slow down that heart rate. Maybe start to deepen in that inhalation and extend that exhalation now. No thoughts in your mind, just your breath. Gently bring both knees together and start to bring your knees into that chest. Start to raise your nose towards your knees, giving yourself a well-deserved hug for honoring your mind, body and soul by practicing today. Gently start to extend those arms downwards, extend those legs, coming through to your final position, your Savasana. So just let those ankles flop out now, guys, and make sure that your arms are nice and relaxed, your fingertips are curled and your palms are faced upwards. Start to release in any breath now, that's gone. And release in any asana practice, that's also gone. Nothing to do here now but rest. So any thoughts that are drifting through your mind, any to-do lists, continue to let them go. Practicing non-attachment here, guys. Just give yourself this time. So you can stay in your Savasana for a little bit longer, for as long as you may need. When you're ready, you gently start to take your arms overhead. Take a full body stretch like you've just woken up on a brand new day, fully energized. Bring your knees to your chest as you roll over to your right hand side. Bring in a soft smile to your lips. As you know, life doesn't always give us a reason to smile each day, but your smile shared is a reason for others. Pushing into your left palm and raising yourself to a nice seated position where we began. Just gently bringing yourself into that cross-legged position. So thank you for letting me guide you through your practice today, guys. Namaste, and I will see you very soon.